Hello, great people, and welcome to the very first episode of the Shoebox Podcast, the podcast that currently does not have a tagline because I'm still in the works of making this. I'm here today, and I just want to talk about sneakers, life, and everything associated with being great. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it, guys. So the name of today's episode is Sneakers Are More Than a Shoe, right? We really want to start looking at things with our minds instead of our wallets, guys, because sometimes we have such an unsatiable appetite when it comes to sneakers and fashion. And let's be honest, 2024 has been an extremely slow year for sneakers, guys. I really feel like everyone's waiting until they get their income tax check, and Nike is capitalizing off that. Once you get those $3,000 for all those kids that you claim that really aren't yours, bro, you know that for a fact. But Nike is waiting until you hit that big money so they can release all the hot stuff. So let's go ahead and get into some upcoming releases for the 2024 year. You know, we have a lot to look forward to. We got the black toe Jordan 1s releasing later this year. People are saying the military blue 4s are gonna be sneaker of the year. And the big contender of the year is the Jordan 4 Bread. Now, to the naked eye, this may honestly look like the same exact sneaker. I think the last time this released was in 2019. These sneakers are black, red, and gray, some of the best color combinations in the world. I personally love black and gray. Black and red is awesome too. Look at my boy Ichigo Kurosaki. One of the best anime of all time, guys. His Bankai Getsuga Tensho actually features a black and red color scheme. So whenever I see the color black and red on any outfit or any sneaker, I immediately think of him. These sneakers will be releasing on February 17th for $215. And the big question is, what is different about these reimagined Jordan 4s versus the original? And let's go ahead and highlight that. A lot of my news comes from sneakernews.com. It is a great outlet for anybody who just wants to see upcoming sneaker releases and get a quick synopsis about what the shoe is about, how much it's going to cost, and some quick details about it. So, according to this website, the sneaker will be made of mostly leather. The original Jordan 4 Bread was made out of nubuck. Personally, don't know the difference between nubuck and leather, but you can clearly see that the new reimagined sneakers have more of a shiny, glossier look compared to the original counterpart. Other than that, the sneaker will be mostly faithful to the original. There are some small details on the back. I believe with the Nike logo is going to be looking a little bit different. They're saying the wings on the Jordan 4 are going to have some slight details that are going to be changed. But other than that, this is more or less the same sneaker. It's a good opportunity for those who didn't get the original Jordan 4 Bread. You have another opportunity to get the sneaker for retail. A lot of people are saying this is going to be sneaker of the year, and I feel like we need to hold off on that assumption. All right, I really feel like there's a lot of heat releasing this year. There's a lot of good stuff coming out this year. I personally feel like sneaker companies have picked up on the fact that a lot of people are turning their back on the sneaker game. A lot of that is due to the amount of reps that are on the market. There are a lot of resellers on the market as well. There are a lot of alternatives to buying sneakers. People are tired of taking L's, right? So I think the way that they're going to recapitalize off of the hype of a lot of these older models is to release them again, right? So that way people have a reason to come back to the sneaker game. Honestly, this year, if you want to get one of these hype sneakers, there are so many opportunities for you to get them for a fair retail price. If you enter every single sneakers draw this year, you're guaranteed to get your hands on something, yo. And that's awesome. I really think the companies are starting to see that. People are turning away from the sneaker game because of how treacherous it can be sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty dangerous out here on these streets. And I'm starting to see that maybe the Jordan 4 may be the savior of the year. I think it's really going to help kick off the 2024 sneaker game. But I don't think the sneaker of the year claim, the trophy, cannot go to these sneakers just yet. I do believe that these sneakers are going down in resale price. I did see a video a couple of days ago on TikTok where a man bought these sneakers for $500 early pair, currently on StockX. Let's go ahead and check the numbers and see what they're selling for on StockX. Last time I checked, they were selling for about $300. And let's go ahead and confirm these numbers, guys. Because I'm not saying that resale value plays a big role into the value of the sneaker. I personally feel like if the resale value is going down, that's great for the average consumer because that means you have a great chance of getting the sneaker for a very fair price. Let's see, Jordan 4 StockX. Let's go ahead and see the Jordan 4 Bread. on StockX. The average resale price of the Jordan 4 Bread Reimagined is $365. That's guaranteed to drop once these sneakers release on February 17th. So I think this is a very good sign for people that want to get these sneakers. You're going to have a good chance of getting them. If you end up having to pay resale, it's a slight increase in price, guys. So really, go ahead and put your chances out there, enter those raffles, enter every single chance you can get. And if you're able to get your hands on that sneaker, great. Personally, I feel like if you already have the breads, this may not be the sneaker for you, but everyone's entitled to spend their money however they choose to. Clearly, this is not going to allow the resellers to eat because the resale price drops every single day, but I do feel like it's going to be like a defibrillator, a real quick shock to the sneaker game because like I said, January is always a slow month when it comes to releases. There's not that much heat dropping, and if I look at today, January 20th, we did see a release of the Jordan 2 Python. The Jordan 2 always gets disrespected, guys. I have no clue why. People hate on the Jordan 2. It's like when they look at the Jordan lineage, we go from 1 to 3, like a kid that doesn't know how to count, the kid that didn't pass the 5th grade. He has to count on his fingers sometimes, and we clearly see that the number 2 always gets skipped. The Jordan 2 Python is made out of white, gray, and I think a little bit of tan on the sole. I do like the Jordan 2 a lot. I clown them a lot in my videos on some sarcastic stuff, but really, these sneakers have a very solid, simple design. I feel like the reason why people do not gravitate towards Jordan 2 is the fact that they are made of a mostly white or black upper. They don't feature a lot of crazy colors, and nowadays in 2024, the crazier a sneaker is, the more attractive it is to people. And because of the lack of hype in the Jordan 2, I'm not sure if Michael Jordan wore these sneakers a lot, but they don't get the love that I think they truly do deserve. Jordan 2 lows are one of the most beautiful sneakers to me. I love Jordan 1 lows, but unfortunately, the Jordan 2 Python is probably sitting on the sneakers app right now. I'm gonna go ahead and check the resale on StockX just to give us a little bit of comparison. Like I said earlier, resale doesn't determine much, but it is a good indicator of how the community is feeling about a shoe. So let's go and see. Jordan 2 Python. Jordan 2 Python, oh my goodness. The Jordan 2 Python is currently going for average resale price as $116. In my size, the size 11, is $160. And I believe these things retailed for about $200, $175. I'm looking at sneakernews.com. These things retailed for $175. So they're going for under retail, which, you know, is good for the people that want the sneaker. It's bad for the people that resell, but if you're playing the sneaker economy, you're playing the game of flipping bread, you got to take the L's sometimes. Just like I take L's on the sneaker app and you take L's on the sneaker app. It doesn't really matter. We're all losing sometimes, but you got to lose in order to win. Another sneaker that's dropping this week is the Jordan 1 Low, Year of the Dragon. Like I said earlier, Jordan 1 Lows are some of the best sneakers out. The Year of the Dragon probably features something with the Chinese New Year, I'm assuming. Every year around this time, we do get a Chinese New Year from the Jordan brand. These sneakers are green. They got a little bit of white, got a little bit of red. Personally, I don't like green and red in the sneaker. It reminds me of Christmas. But I think for the average consumer, like I said, if you like something, go out there and buy it. Don't believe in the hype. Don't worry about resale unless you plan on reselling sneakers. This is a solid shoe. It's releasing for $160. I don't think there are going to be a lot of people trying to pick this one up. I think if you're one that likes green, go ahead and get it. It kind of does remind me of a dragon because of that green and red. Once I really look at the sneaker, there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of potential in this sneaker. Kind of reminds me of Shinron from Dragon Ball Z. Anybody collecting all 7 Dragon Balls and making a wish, what would your wish be? If you could make one sneaker-related wish, if you got all 7 Dragon Balls, what would you say? Personally, if I had a chance to make one wish related to sneakers, I would wish that sneakers don't fall apart and they don't degrade. You know, one of the worst things about owning a sneaker is that debate that you have with yourself of like, should I wear this out or should I just keep it in my closet? Because the people that spend like $1,000+ on a sneaker, heck, I spent $300 on some sneakers like my Wave Runners. I'm just like, bro, the more you wear it, the quicker the value goes down, you know? It's like buying a car. Like, you spend so much money on a new car, the minute you put it on your feet, it becomes used. I would just make a wish that would say the sneakers always retain their physical value, or their physical appearance rather. Like, you don't want things to degrade over time because that is the thing with man-made objects. Eventually, they're going to degrade and turn to dirt and dust. But, in a dream world, the sneakers will never fall apart. And I know that if you keep up with upkeep and care, just like a car, it will last longer. But let's be real, in 100, 200 years from now, will these sneakers be the same as when you bought them in that same pristine condition? No. A lot of times, the soles be yellowing, they'll get creases, they'll get cracks. So that's just my sneaker wish if I had all 7 Dragon Balls. And speaking of 7 Dragon Balls, let's talk about the Jordan 6. You see how I transition there? The Jordan 6 Yellow Ochre. That's releasing on January 27th. January 27th for $200. According to the sneakers app, MJ wore them when he claimed his first championship, and you'll be wearing them for, well, whatever you want. Personally, I don't keep up with basketball. I don't know how accurate that statement is. I know it's a sin in the sneaker community to not really keep up with basketball and to know everything about Michael Jordan's legacy, but I'll be the first to admit, humbly, I'm ignorant. Educate me if you choose to, but you clearly see these sneakers are made out of white and yellow, white and yellow, white and yellow with a little bit of black. Shout out to Wiz Khalifa, one of the greatest rappers of all time. I'm mixed on this sneaker. It seems like this year seems to be the year of the yellow because we're about to get into another sneaker, a Jordan sneaker that has mostly yellow in it. But I don't know. I think this is cool. Once again, I don't think this is going to be like a super hype release. This is definitely something that is to like slowly feed us into that big February 17th release of the Jordan 4 Bread Reimagined. I don't think these are going to sit on the sneakers app because there's enough white to really hold the sneaker together. Because to me, yellow is one of those bright, powerful colors that will dominate an outfit. And something like this with that much white will really help it make it more versatile, more wearable, more fashionable. A lot of people don't respect Jordan 6s. I think when it comes to Jordan rankings, you got Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s. People put 3s and 6s and 5s. Those are interchangeable. Then you got Jordan 11s. They also make it up there too. But let's be real, Jordan 6s are not the most sought after Jordan model. But if you have a chance to get these, go ahead and cop them. I don't think the resellers will be on this too much. I know it's a sneaker that Michael Jordan may have worn, but I don't know. I think in the average sneaker game right now, if we're talking 2024, Gen Z is really starting to run the game. They're really starting to make an impact in the sneaker game and the resale game. They weren't around for Michael Jordan. They really respect people like Melo, LeBron, etc. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Those release on January 27th. That's a week from today, next Saturday. And since I'm getting into the topic, I just want to ask y'all too, what do y'all think the difference is between a sneakerhead and a shoe collector? A lot of people feel like it's a necessity to really understand the history behind the sport, the facts, who wore what when, what did they do when they wore it. Like, I recently found out the Jordan 1 shattered backboard was called the shattered backboard because one time Michael Jordan wore them and he dunked and shattered the backboard. Does that stop me from being a sneakerhead because I don't know every single fact? Should I label myself as a shoe collector? What do you guys think? Are you somebody that knows everything about your sneakers, where they came from, who wore them, the history behind them, why they are the color they are? Or are you just somebody that just likes the way the shoe looks? Does that stop me from being a sneakerhead? Where do we draw the line? And oftentimes, I call Crocs sneakers, right? And people correct me all the time in my videos. They're like, Free, those things are not sneakers. Why? Because they don't have shoelaces. Well, guess what? They're actually releasing some Salehi Bembury Crocs with shoelaces. Yes, people, Salehi Bembury has decided to collaborate with the Croc brand once again to release the Salehi Bembury Croc Juniper. So let's go ahead and pull these up. It is one of the first Crocs, I believe, with shoelaces. It's the only one that's popular to my knowledge. And I do feel like this sneaker is in some ways like reinventing the wheel. To me, it's a lot like when Apple does something Android does and they get all the praise for it. Like, you finally decide to do this. And I'm not hating on the shoe, don't get me wrong, but that's what I really think when I look at these. All right, it's mostly pink like Majin Buu. And it's got a little bit of green boogers on the bottom. Delicious, for people that like to eat their boogers. Random tangent. But I think these are definitely an innovation. I can't hate. On the bottom of the shoe, it has that classic Salehi Bembury fingerprint style. I love that. That's like a nice little touch that he does with all of his sneakers. That's real dope. I really think that these sneakers may start to allow Crocs to be more of a mature shoe because Personally, I feel like Crocs are for a more casual crowd. I don't want to say younger. I don't want to say if you wear them, you're a baby. I do see a lot of kids wear them. However, I think they're going to start broadening their horizons, their appeal to their audience. A lot of people are going to start gravitating more to Crocs because this is going to be a more athletic shoe. It's going to be more of a fashionable shoe. The mere presence of shoelaces is going to help elevate this brand so much. And it's crazy how a designer can see how a subtle tweak doing something that everybody else did is going to allow the sneaker to pop. Because I think there's a simple statement in fashion. Simple is key. Keep things simple. The simpler something is, the better it is. The more you can simplify a creative process, the more you can get out of that process. So it's awesome that he decided to add something very simple to a very intricate design. I love that. The release date of these sneakers is unconfirmed, but expect to see them sometime in 2024. Let's go ahead and talk about somebody who has not been too respected for his innovation lately. People have started to call his sneakers lazy, unappealing, and that's the man who has patented the reverse swoosh. I'm talking about Mr. Travis Scott himself. He's releasing a lot of sneakers this year. There are a lot of Travis Scott Jordans releasing this year. In today's podcast, I would like to focus on the Travis Scott Canary Yellow. I don't know if that is the official name of these sneakers, but these sneakers are inspired by his high school. He went to Lawrence E. Elkins High School in Texas, right? It features the colors of his high school alma mater, the blue and yellow. I have no clue who the mascot was. Y'all can look it up yourself. Expect these to release in the summer. Honestly, a sneaker that's bright and yellow can only be worn during the summer, bro, because the sun's out and people will be able to see your sunny shoes. These things look like Sunny D. They look like SpongeBob, but I'm just chewing. I think it's great that Travis Scott has sneakers in almost every color. It's like Power Rangers, you know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for a red sneaker to come out because the Red Ranger was probably the best Power Ranger, bro. He led the Power Rangers, so we got these yellow sneakers right here. I really think that, the bots are going to eat, the resellers are going to eat, but it's dope. I really don't hate on him too much because people say that the reverse swoosh is getting overwhelming played out. With his last release, the Cactus Max, people just said he just flipped the swoosh and he didn't change anything about the original shoe. He ruined the design, blase, blase, which, like I said earlier, if you can keep a design simple, that's when you really pop things off. And the Travis Scott Mac Attack has a very simple design. People are tired of the Jordan 1 Low. I get it. But once again, they're a very simple design. Jordan 1 Lows are a lot easier to wear to me because they're low top sneakers. You can wear them with a little bit more. They don't have to be worn with such baggy fits. So I'm excited for these. I'm excited for these. I don't know how the resale is going to be on them. People are going to buy them in the hopes of reselling. The sneakers app is probably going to crash once these sneakers launch on there. However, it's a way to just add to the already dominant Travis Scott Jordan empire. He's running the game right now. He's one of the biggest influencers in the sneaker game. And this is a great sneaker. And musicians and sneakers always have this nice little intersection. We always look at Kanye West too. Kanye has not released a sneaker in a while, but I think Yeezys may be making their comeback this year with the Yeezy Pods. Yeah, Yeezy Pods. I know, what a complicated name. These sneakers, they look like socks. They look like flippers, like you're going to dive in the ocean, like a marine. These sneakers became available for pre-order back in last month in December. A lot of people saw them releasing for about $200. There's not a set anticipated release date to my knowledge, but this is the first Yeezy to release without Adidas. Is Kanye and Adidas no longer a thing? That is a huge possibility. I've said it for a while, regardless of a lot of the things that happened back in 2022. Kanye, if he wishes to continue in the fashion and sneaker game, you gotta own your own. You gotta start making your own, make your own empire. And this may be the start of that. People love Yeezys because of their design, but they also love them because of Kanye. And this sneaker is a testament to the fact of how Kanye can just influence people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, these are a very simple sneaker, but it's Kanye. And simple, like I said earlier, equals fashion, equals creativity, equals success. So as much as these sneakers are getting roasted, they're also getting talked about. So can we really hate on these sneakers for doing what they do? No, sir, because they are a part of that innovation, that conglomerate. They're going to move the needle forward. That way Kanye can release other designs as well. So this may be the start of something new. the hate is getting a little old, right? And another topic I want to touch on is the Panda dunk hate. Now we're in 2024, and a lot of people are saying that hating on pandas is getting old, it's getting tired, it's getting played out. I agree. Why did the Pandas get the hate that they deserved? I don't know, because they were so versatile, they were so innovative, not really, but they were so easy to wear, and I think people hated on these Pandas for being too simple. A simple black and white sneaker. Everybody wore them, everybody saw them all the time. People were thinking that they were sneakerheads simply because of the fact that they were wearing Panda dunks, and I just want to say that you can't really hate on something for being popular. You can't really hate on something for being simple. That's like hating on a white t-shirt. Yeah, white t-shirts are basic, but they go with every outfit. You simply cannot hate on something because of its versatility. Now, are the Panda Dunks oversaturated? Of course, they were released so many times. But I think that was Nike's way of allowing people to have like a simple way into the sneaker game. And just like with Vans and Converse, they're simple shoes that can be worn multiple times with multiple outfits, and you won't get clowned because that Nike check is on your shoe. So I think for the kids, it's great. For the adults who don't really want to get expensive sneakers, it's great. And to the sneakerheads out there, you really can't hate on them because you got a million sneakers in your collection. So what's wrong with somebody just starting off with a Panda Dunk? I know they're basic, I know they're played out, but hating on them is getting a little played out too, guys, because let's be real. At some point, you wore sneakers that were common and they were the only thing you could afford. I remember when I was in school, I had Vans all the time. I didn't even really like Vans. I wasn't a skater like that, but it's the only thing my mama could afford. Or I remember when I had white Converses, got a little bleach on them. I still rock my Converses with bleach on them because it's what I had to do. We were struggling. We didn't have much, so we wore what we could afford. And sometimes you gotta let people wear what they afford. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm the king of the roasting around here. I am the D1 hater, but let's just be realistic for a second. Pandas aren't that bad at the end of the day. If you wear them, yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of hate. People are gonna clown the shoe, but honestly, don't let people clown a shoe and feel like they're clowning you, because we're all subject to some little jokes and funny comments. It's whatever, bro. Grow thick skin and just move on, move on. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to move on, talk about some stuff I've seen lately in social media news as far as music with Drake. And people have been hating on him. Mos Def came out and he said that Drake makes Target music. And Drake's my favorite rapper. So when I approach this conversation, I do have a little bit of bias in myself. But I don't feel like Drake makes Target music. Drake is the everyman. His music is so popular because a lot of people can relate to his music. That's what he does. He tries to appeal to everybody. I mean, and that's a hard thing to do when you try to appeal to every type of person, and we're all so unique. It's almost impossible to really reach everybody. And I get the comment, you know what I mean? Like, his music is the type of music you will hear when you're walking through Target. Like, I was walking to Ross earlier and I heard a Drake song, you know what I'm saying? But the way that his music has inspired my life and motivated me to become a harder worker and to innovate and to change the way I approach things, I can't really label him as just a pop man, you know what I'm saying? Like, his music, to me, there's hip hop, which is like the more turnt side of music, like, yeah, let's get lit, let's get crazy. And there's rap, which is more introspective, it's more thought provoking. He does both. Drake has made me really work on myself and work on my hustle and my craft. One of the things I respect about Drake is the most is that he's not afraid to be number two in an area once he's dominated something. You know what I mean? Like, look at his last album in 2022, Honestly Nevermind. People clown that album, said it sucked, blase, blase. But there's one thing about life that I need y'all to understand. When you're the number one guy in the space that you're in, it's time for you to move into a different space. It's time for you to try to find something else to conquer. Drake has conquered the hip hop and rap game. People will always look back on his career, regardless of the scandals he's been in, and say, yeah, he has had a lot of success in this domain. Very few people are brave enough to move into a different genre, a different lane that they're not experienced in. They're not the number one. They're not the known guy. That's really when you test your skills, when you move into something that's unfamiliar and uncomfortable, because people grow in uncomfortable situations, and you really got to see that in your life. Like, for me, in my content, this is my first podcast, but I'm doing it. right? I'm making the podcast. Although this is something new to me, this is a skill that I will get better at the more I do it over time. And I want you to understand the real winners in this world, the 1%, the top of the top, they are people who weren't afraid to move and to change and to go into things in the spaces where they were uncomfortable. They weren't operating off of fear. They weren't operating off of, I can't do this. I don't know if I should do this. They were confident in their decisions and they weren't afraid of failure. Never be afraid of failure, because at the end of the day, if you learn something, that is true success, guys. That is true success because you have learned something. You have learned a new skill. You have learned that maybe I should tweak things and try this differently. Does Drake make Target music? Maybe. I hear his music a lot in Target, but let's not stay away from the fact that there is more value in the music. Just because there's a little bit of catchiness into it, someone may hear something and find true value in it, guys. Just like Chief Keef may make street gangbanging music, but there's somebody out there that might be truly inspired by Chief Keef. They might be like, you know what? I respect Sosa. I respect his work ethic. Even with Sexy Red. You know, people make fun of her music all the time. You know, I know she makes very polarizing music, but if you really look at it at the end of the day, there might be a message to somebody that somebody resonates with that gets their life together. So it's really hard to place somebody into one singular box. That's my point. And why I want y'all to take away from this, never be uncomfortable in a sense of you're afraid to be uncomfortable, or in a sense of I'm afraid to do something because I'm afraid to fail, or I'm afraid of what people are going to think about me, because people are going to talk about you to the day you die. There might be people saying bad things at your funeral. Let's just be real. And you have to accept that, okay? You have to accept that you may be the most disliked person sometimes. You may be a very polarizing individual, but as long as you're growing, as long as you're staying true to yourself and true to your beliefs, and if you believe in a higher power, I believe in God, as long as you're being true to what God put you on this earth for and your purpose, you really can't fail in a sense. So let's get into the final segment of today's podcast. What's in the box? So behind me, you see I got the Jordan 4 bread box, and I want to unbox it with you guys and talk about what's in the shoe box. So what's in the box, great people? What is in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? I don't have a theme song yet. You know, if I had a soundboard, I guess I'd be using that one scene from that Brad Pitt movie with Morgan Freeman where he's like, what's in the box? Vitamins. Yes, I know. Crazy to think. Vitamins are in the box, people. And let me ask you, when was the last time you took your vitamins? Not when your mama told you to take your vitamins. When was the last legit time you took your vitamins, people? I'm not going to act holier than thou and say I take my vitamins every day. I struggle to take them. I need to start taking them more. Let's talk about future vision and future success. A lot of people take advantage of their youth because we feel like we're invincible. I'm 27, and honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm not the spring chicken I was when I was 22. I remember when I first got my first full-time job, I put on a little bit of a belly. I was like, dang, bro, I actually have to watch what I eat. I actually have to go to the gym multiple times throughout the week. I won't be naturally looking good. A lot of how you look when you age is based off the actions that you do right now, people. Really think about that. And I implore all of you to start taking care of your health. Simple way, take vitamins every day. Vitamins will help support your body of the natural nutrients that you may not be getting in your food, that you may not be naturally producing. These are just a good way to supplement what's going on in your life, guys. I like Garden of Life multivitamins because they're plant-based. They have a lot of good vitamins in there, a lot of good chemicals in there. You got vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, riboflavin. You got all of what you need to succeed. And I really want you guys to start investing in your health more in 2024 because, you know, life is limited. And I would hate for you to turn 70 and look back on your life and be like, dang, bro, I wish I did more. I wish I took better care of my health. And small habits, small, simple habits that you do every day can make such a big impact on your life. So that's what's in the box for today, guys. Multivitamins. I challenge you to start taking them every single day. You will see it improving in your health, your memory, your skin, your hair growth, all sorts of stuff, guys. And you may stop getting sick as often, guys. You know, flu, cold season's coming up real soon. So it's real important that you guys start taking care of yourself. Please learn how to do it. And I just want to leave you guys with this. 2024 is the year of change. Are you holding yourself accountable to your goals? Everybody started the year off with these vision boards, or maybe you're the type of person just to write your goals down on a piece of paper, or maybe you just have one thing in mind that you're really just accomplishing this year. I want you to remember that consistency is key. As long as you're consistent at anything in life, you will improve. I remember the days when I just had one YouTube subscriber. I only had one person commenting on my videos. I truly remember when I just didn't have it like that, bro. But I stayed consistent. I stayed on my grind. I kept uploading. I didn't give up. And look where I am right now. I just reached 9,000 subscribers. I'm making this podcast with you today. I want you guys to really not define yourself by your failures. Rather, look at yourself in terms of successes. And like I said earlier, failure is a form of success because you learn and grow every single time. Next time we get on the Shoebox podcast, I really want to talk about where I'm at with my goals and where I'm at with my vision. And let's just see where the sneaker game is at, because we're getting close to the end of quarter 1 of the year, right? There's only really 4 quarters in a year. It's just 3 months. We're approaching February. March will be upon us soon. And then you'll be reflecting on what I did in January to make myself who I am today. This has been the first episode of the Shoebox Podcast. I will check in with you guys next month to see where everybody's at. I appreciate you for supporting me in my creative endeavors. And I'm excited to see where you're at in a month. Let's get it.